Isn't that like one of your favorites, like beans and rice and
beans,
empanadas?
Rice. Oh my God, I'm salivating.
Yeah, empanadas sound pretty big right now. I'm hungry.
Within the year, I gained over 100,000 followers. I gained a huge fan base. You know, anywhere I would go back home, like, you know, I would have fans around asking me for autographs. Like, I really felt what it was like to just be somebody. It's not easy to just get up and go and make something of yourself without the people you really, you know, kind of, sort of, are just comfortable with. Love is everything. Love. Love is unconditional. Love is God. Love is a lesson. Love hurts. Love loves. Love is everything.
Hi everybody, it's Lara for Sidewalk Talk. I'm here with Justin Love.
Hello, hello.
And we're gonna get started.
Let's get started.
You grew up in Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
Cliffside Park, New Jersey.
Can you tell me what it's like growing up there?
It's not a lot that goes on in Cliffside. Other than whatever happens in school, you know. I guess school was, the best part of Cliffside Park. There's not a lot. There's not a lot that really happens over there.
I feel like no one says that. Like,
yeah,
school's the best part.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not the best part, but that's just where all the kids were, you know? Like, Cliffside Park, how can I explain it? I don't know. I wish there was more soul. I wish there was more creative programs in Cliffside Park, you know? As to in LA, there's so much creative things going on and so many outlets for creatives. I want to bring that and present that to Cliffside Park. I want to make sure that Cliffside Park does have creative programs, music programs, and, you know, just other programs instead of just sports, you know?
So you would actually, like, think about making an initiative for the future?
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's
I actually did go back to Cliffside Park, and I spoke to my first grade teacher, who's now a principal, and she's gonna help me put together this music program for the schools.
Really?
In the middle school and high school, so, you know, we can create some producers, engineers, some DJs, and make those actual electives in the school program.
That's sick.
You know?
You're Puerto Rican and Cuban and Chinese and just like a bunch of things. Like, did your family move to New Jersey or were they born there?
Both my parents were born in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. My dad is actually the Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Chinese one.
Oh.
And my mom is fully Puerto Rican, so I'm more Puerto Rican than anything.
Your dad's like a total mutt.
Yeah, he's a mutt.
Cool.
He's a mutt, created a mutt.
Yeah.
A mutt.
What do your parents do?
My dad is, he's about to be the general manager at one of the facilities at Goya Foods. You know, Goya.
I've heard of.
Spanish.
Yeah.
It's like a Spanish food company. They have beans and rice and all the most beautiful foods in the world.
Isn't that like one of your favorites, like beans and rice and
beans,
empanadas?
Rice. Oh my God, I'm salivating.
Yeah, empanadas sound pretty big right now. I'm hungry.
But my mom is a hairstylist. She does hair and makeup, and shit, she's one of the best.
Yeah? Does she ever do your hair?
Yeah, she trims my hair.
I remember reading that you like listen to Boyz II Men and Run DMC and all that. Like, was your family playing that music, or was it you who found it?
Yeah, it was through my family. Actually, my cousin Carlos, he just gave me all the music on his iPod. Whatever was in his Apple Music, just transferred into my Apple Music, into my iPod, and that was honestly the only music I would really listen to, aside from when, you know, Apple even came out with iPods. I grew up listening to, you know, Shy, and if I, you know, ever fall. I love that so much. That's one of my favorite songs. And
So
Boyz II
good.
Men, Cisco, Frankie J.
All the classics from like 90s, 2000s. Yeah, I feel that. So are you still close with that cousin, Carlos?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love Carlos.
And
he's just back home in Jersey.
do you see him often?
Whenever I'm in Jersey, yeah. Yeah.
And what about your brother? Like, he actually came along today.
Yeah, he came along today. He actually is still based in Jersey. I'm trying to convince him to come out here.
Does he not want to?
He's comfortable over there, you know. He has plans. He has his friends. Like I said earlier, it's not easy to just get up and go and make something of yourself without the people you really, you know, kind of, sort of, are just comfortable with. Having to make new friends, new business partners.
What does he do right now, since he's not here?
He cuts hair. He's a barber.
Oh, sick. So he followed in your mom's footsteps?
My mom's footsteps.
That's cool.
He wants to open up a cafe. He was telling me about. He loves to eat. That boy could eat. But yeah.
What was your personality like when you were in high school? Like, what were your grades like, or
terrible?
Anything? Really?
Terrible. Always terrible. I wasn't a terrible person. I was a great kid. I just wasn't that great in school. Hello. How are you?
Who are you?
Justin Love.
Justin Love. Are you like, tell me who you are? Because I have a feeling you've got that swag.
Hey, okay.
Never wanna separate. Think about us having babies. Girl, I be done.
I like that part. That's nice. I want to be your backup singer.
When I see you,
Sing to me. Wait. Let me wait.
girl, I thank God that I'm alive.
Wait, where's my
Keep
phone?
going.
Oh, baby, when I see your face, girl, I thank God that you're mine. God bless.
Have a good one.
Bye. I know when you were like in high school, college-ish, your dad was saying like he didn't want you to go to like New York a bunch or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very fond of New York, but I mean, I always made my way out there. You know, when my parents were going through their little breakup or whatever, I would just leave and let them go through their whatever the fuck they were going through. And I would go to New York. I found this guy, Kurt. God bless Kurt. That would, you know, he just believed in me. I was the only person that really would allow me to just record for free, you know.
That's awesome.
So he's an amazing producer, an amazing engineer, and he inspired me a lot. You know, so that was just a perfect getaway for me. It's not like I was out on the street selling drugs or some shit.
Yeah.
I was just escaping to just do music, you know?
How old were you when all that was happening with your parents anyway?
17, 18.
That's a hard time because you're like old enough to understand like everything
Exactly.
that's happening.
I mean, luckily enough, I have a great head on my shoulders, you know? And I've had a great head on my shoulders throughout my whole life. Thankful for my parents. So it was just their time to just do their thing, and you know, it affected me in a more positive way than rather like I wasn't even really stressed about it, you know. I knew they would figure it out. I knew they were grown, and they would just get through this, you know.
You went to college. Where'd you go?
I went to Bergen Community College. If I'm not mistaken, that's the best community college in the country.
How do you know that?
I would just hear it a lot from a lot of the professors. So I'm just going based off of the professor's word. Okay,
got it. And you studied music business?
Music business, yeah. That was the first time I ever had good grades when I studied music business.
Because you're studying what you're passionate about?
Yeah, and then I just dropped out. I just school just wasn't for me. I wanted to put 1,000% focus into my music career, and as I did that, it worked.
Yeah.
It really worked out for the better. I told my dad, I was like, look, if in a year I can't get my following up, if in a year I can't get enough people to support and push what I do, then I'll go back to school. And within the year, I gained over 100,000 followers. I gained a huge fan base. You know, anywhere I would go back home, like, you know, I would have fans around asking me for autographs. Like, I really felt what it was like to just be somebody. And I knew that if I just kept that pushing, like, it'll only get bigger and better. And I'm just happy that God gave me the strength to be able to do so.
Yeah.
Because I was very nervous telling my father that I did not want to be going to school anymore.
Especially since he wanted you to focus so much on school. Yeah.
And, you know, growing up, I sucked at school. You know, luckily I hit college and I was good, but it still just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I don't like people telling me what to do unless it's gonna benefit me. And like me studying science isn't benefiting me. Me studying math and only numbers isn't benefiting me.
Just because you know what you're supposed to do with your
I
career.
know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, shit, teach me banking. Like, I need to learn about my bank account. I need to learn stocks. I need to learn anything that's going to make me protect my money and make more money.
I feel like that's just a general American thing. Like, you know, like we don't get taught how to do our taxes.
Yeah, all that. Nobody saw that.
Sorry.
Okay. It was caught on camera.
I can't even cut that out because it was like in the middle of conversation. Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, like we don't get taught like how to do anything like major in our life.
I get it.
You were like singing at like 4 years old, right? And like songwriting at 10 and producing when you got older. Like what's it been like to go from like having music in your like whole life but like now doing it professionally?
I always fight to make sure that no one can turn this into a work field.
Interesting.
Because it's never been that way for me. It's always been an outlet for my emotions, whether I'm happy, sad, stressed. You know, me and my manager, you know, go back and forth about it all the time. You know, like branding is really important, and I'm just now learning how to, you know, do things and curate certain things around my brand and understand what my brand is.
Yeah.
But I'm a hustler. Like I like learning about that stuff. You know, especially if it's gonna better me as an artist and a creative and a person. As long as that doesn't interrupt my creative process, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I always fight to make sure that my creative process is always productive and always fun.
Got it.
I'm always loving it, you know?
Yeah. When you were making music, like you actually had a sugar mama, right?
Actually had a sugar mama.
Can you tell me about that?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a sugar mama. I was speaking that into existence.
Okay, so what was
through
it?
a song. And then I also had women that just took care of me whenever I needed something, you know?
So isn't that a sugar mama?
It is whatever you want to call that, love.
Okay. What was that like? Like having like other people like help support you?
It felt good. I mean, what man wouldn't want that? You know what I'm saying?
Be taken care of while you do music.
Yeah, and it's not like I made anybody do anything, you know, like, you know, some people just really care about me, you know what I'm saying?
So what advice would you give to someone who's like getting started in the industry? Like, I remember reading that what you've like recommended is for people to set goals and to like forget like any haters. Like, do you think that's still relevant?
As much as we all love, the one love you need to focus on is yourself, right?
True.
So, in the midst of working, right, you can't pay attention too much to how many people show love and to how many people show hate. It's really important to just stay focused and stay tunnel visioned, you know, and just work on whatever you need to work on. A lot of people can go downhill by being loved too much. Yeah. Stop working, spending their money, you know what I'm saying? And spending a lot of shit on the wrong shit. Yeah, I mean, and then hate can either drown you or just turn you into somebody that you're not, you know. And just because of how hurt you are, you'll come off as arrogant, ignorant, you know.
True. So you got a lot of attention from like Nicki Minaj in the past. Nicki. What was it like getting?
Honestly, the video was just a joke. I just got like a ring light, and I felt very light skinned, and I was just feeling myself, and I made a video of just singing one of her songs with Yo Gotti. Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up. And for whatever reason, I guess she felt the need to post it on her page. I woke up the next day and the shit went viral all over the place.
That's wild.
But yeah, that was crazy.
So other than getting like attention from like Nicki, like some highlights in your career have been like getting a nomination for a Grammy.
Yeah, Focus, H.E.R. I mean, Focus got a lot of attention. Like Rihanna posted a nice, pretty slow motion video of herself vibing to the record. Who else? Tiana Taylor. You know, that song resonated with a lot of dope women in the industry for sure. It was Jermaine Dupri's favorite record on the album. You know, so it was a good feeling knowing that, you know, something that I had some type of efforts in, like, did something like that to certain people, you know?
What was like the best thing that you've learned in the industry so far?
The best thing. To not be so emotional.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not be so emotional. Like, certain things can really upset certain artists, and you just don't want to burn any bridges with certain people, because you'll never know when you'll come across them again or ever need them, you know? So it's just really important to just keep your relationships, and no matter how upset you might get, and just, you know, like, I'm emotional. I like to react. I like to talk to people face to face if we have a problem, you know?
So just
that's
learning.
not always the best. That's not always the best thing, you know, because you know, this industry can be a bit shiesty, and you just can't act out. You just gotta act accordingly, you know.
It's just part of maturing and getting more professional.
Absolutely.
That's fair. How do you think your music's changed since the past? Well, I mean, you've been songwriting since you were like 10, so.
Yeah, I've been writing. Like, look, I was just writing for fun. I was just writing to impress the people around me in my friend group. So you brought up Sugar Mamas before and stuff. Like, I just knew it was, like, to me, it was just funny, you know. And I was young. I was in a young mind when I wrote that. I definitely wouldn't bring up Sugar Mamas again. But you know, now I just really like to keep a lot of my stuff very love-based and fun-based, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You've talked about in like your interviews about like your work ethic, and like you worked for your birthday.
I did.
On your birthday.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
Well, I mean, like I said, music is my outlet. Like, for any of my emotions, when I'm feeling, I just like being in the studio. I'm a studio rat. If I could be in the studio every day, like, I would. You know, when I have my own big house, I'm gonna have my own big studio in this own big house of mine. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely just in my nature to just do music wherever I am. Even if I wasn't at the studio, I'd probably have my headphones in somewhere. I'd definitely be writing something. Like, in my head, I just have a lot of work to do, you know? I love to write, I love to produce, and I love to sing, and I love to record. So when you love all of those things, it's really hard to just stay away from it for so long.
Yeah.
I need music all the time. I can't even think. Like, I can't even like imagine myself without music for a day. That's crazy. I'd go crazy.
Your dad should have listened to like the signs when you were in school and
Yeah, right.
like should have been just like, I'm gonna let my son do music forever.
Yeah, I mean, but he was never really into that, you know? So it's hard for someone who just doesn't understand or has never really experienced the music business side
Yeah.
of things
That's fair.
to really, you know, just know how to inspire someone about it. You
And
know?
to just be like, yeah, sure, go do what you want. Yeah, I get that.
What he did do, he did buy me speakers and a computer and a
Okay.
piano to at least start and stay off and out the streets, you know?
So he's super supportive.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
at least he supported it, you know?
Cool. How would you say you've changed, like in general, like in life in the past couple of years?
I've definitely matured. I know what I want to talk about now. Back to my brand, like I said, I'm definitely gonna start keeping it love-based and fun-based. You know, R&B and pop, and you'll hear a bunch of hip-hop features here and there. But I'm very woke now. You know, I'm enlightened to a point where I know where to put my energy and I know where to protect my energy. So I've just matured, you know, and I thank life and God for that.
Yeah. Are you like super religious at all, or
I'm not
just
religious
spiritual?
at all. Yeah, I'm very spiritual. I believe in God and I love God. Yeah, I'm not religious.
Got it. What would you say are like some of the biggest challenges you faced?
Not knowing the music business and having to go through it and deal with it firsthand. Went through a lot of struggles. Signing contracts I had no clue about. My first management team sucked. My first production team sucked. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And I thank them for that because now I know what I'm doing.
Like you learned from it?
Now
yeah.
I know what a good team is. Now I know what's right for me. If it wasn't for them being as terrible as they were, I wouldn't know what's good for me. And I'm just thankful.
What would you say that love means to you?
Everything. Love is everything. Love. Love is unconditional. Love is God. Love is a lesson. Love hurts. Love loves. Love is everything, you know? Love fills a really big pocket. It's almost like, not even a pocket, it's like a Santa Claus bag. You know? But love is love, man. Love is love. There's no exact definition.
Yeah.
Those are just my words of love.
What do you want to be remembered by when you die?
My passion, how passionate and how hard working I am and how much I love. How much I help people, you know? That's it, you know? I want to die a legend. I want to die knowing that I put my all into what I love and I help people do the same.
That's awesome. Thank you for being on Sidewalk Talk.
Sidewalk Talk, Justin Love, let's get it.
See you.